Monster arrival. Prince without powers relies on wisdom. Become a Class A squad member. Unfortunately, it ended up in the hands of the monster. And here's the amazing thing. Prince was reborn and returned to his student days. The gears of fate are turning slowly again. Students are honored today. Invited members of the famous new Red Rail team. The website was changed to popularize this weird class for everyone. Buzz and welcome. Ah, it's the new Red Rail team. They should already have a B level, right? New Red Ghost Squad should. It can be regarded as a good quality team. In the memory of the prince, this team finally became a Class A. As a result, in an incident, the car overturned and the group was destroyed first. As a party, I find it pointless to teach you a lesson. If it weren't for that poor point, I will never be here in my life. Perhaps in the near future, you will become corpses. So here's what I can leave you with. If something strange happens, know your position, don't hold back. You look down on us too much. Why do you say we are a burden? You can still be safe now. Living in school, speaking childish words, are these people the so-called future? It's kind of interesting. The prince was an ordinary person in his previous life, forcefully became a member of the A-level Lega squad. But in the end, ordinary people are ordinary people. After all, I have a great honor to tell you, we were involved in a strange incident. The current monster index is unknown, ability unknown. Don't want to pull it out. I suggest you hide in a corner, close your eyes, don't talk, don't move, don't make a sound. Of course, if you're looking for answers, just transfer to a school in the next city. Did this happen? My current physical fitness is still very low. Hard to survive alone. Dude, are you short of teams? Take me one. At this time, the guide will be safe by my side and can maintain a calm state of mind. It's really good, but you are just an ordinary person after all. You can't make a difference in this situation. If I were you, just quietly retreat to the corner. After all, no one can fathom these monster events, human law. In the human population, at least the high mortality rate will be lower. First of all, as long as you understand the rules of the monster's talent, even ordinary people have a chance of surviving. Isn't it? And if there is a real crisis, I believe you will also need a cannon fodder to help you test the monster's ability. It looks like this monster can change reality. Magnetic field coverage unknown, original location unknown. At present, there is no K-King, and the irregular experts are temporarily excluded. Darren law-abiding unknown, but in terms of the number of students surviving in the classroom, talent is not efficient. Open and take a deep look at the prince and follow me closely. I suggest you don't use your powers too often. This will only make your body function decay faster. After all, the situation. Ordinary people can think of solutions. The source cannot be confirmed now. My powers can trace traces. It just broke here. What do you think should be done? Monsters can change magnetic fields to affect reality, but low-level monsters can only create illusions. Now the staircase is not sure if it is changed by the magnetic field or illusion, and the way this works is very simple. The magnetic field formed by the monster, you can hack almost anything, but there's only one thing that doesn't work: gold. Damn. Do you know how expensive gold is now? Looks like luck. This ghost can barely create illusions, but that doesn't change reality. If this ghost's strength is limited to this, then things will be much easier. There was a hint of confidence in the open eyes. Lift your legs to sell to the void stairs. If you do, I may feel that I have chosen the wrong partner. First of all, the law of orbiting people is currently still unknown. Secondly, although the gold test results are illusions, but whether only gold is not affected has not been tested. Finally, the two sides cooperate. I can take on the role of cannon fodder. But as a sign of good faith, you should tell me about your brain. Member of Class B Squad. If it were your brain, it should have been destroyed long ago. I admit you are right, although your vengeance makes me feel angry. Opening can also awaken the eyes. There are currently two types of excavation capabilities. Under normal circumstances, the source of ghosts can be traced, total, able to shock and deter orbits for a short period of time. Did you discover two abilities? And it's a supporting skill as a member of the B-Class squad. You should wear a container for storing ghosts with you, right? Yes. Do I need to play my role next? Is it really just a simple illusion? Go where I stepped. If I fall off the road, always ready to pull me, I don't know why. Now open on the body of the prince, I feel like my own captain. Pause right here on this floor, I can feel the trajectory in this layer. Very rich, specific location. That room? This is the principal's office. Why is the source of the ghost there? Let's find a way to get there first. Take a look with your eyes. Are you using Lao Tzu as a flashlight? This is a dangerous road. And you watch the movement of each one of them. They're touching their necks, but why are they doing this? It's water. That's right. All I can think of is water droplets on my neck. They will subconsciously touch. That is to say, the rule of this ghost's talent is water contact. Hit the water dripping from the ceiling. At least one of the rules of talent should be like this. He actually relied on the scene in front of him. It deduces a kind of master law of ghosts currently. It is impossible to determine whether the ghost has other talent methods, but what is certain is that this ghost can grow. The sound of water droplets falling is becoming more and more frequent. If the ground is covered with water, things get harder. I suggest you inform the members of your squad to be careful of water droplets. Our team members will arrive in about 10 minutes. The easiest way now. Just cover your head with clothes, stand still, and wait for rescue. 10 minutes. Who knows how far ghosts will grow, and how many people will there be? Since you know, what are you waiting for? Can only read now. The water droplets must touch the skin before they can build the net. Of course, you also have to pray that your shoes are waterproof. Now let me test it for you. Do you have to touch the skin? So we were lucky. Follow me. How powerful is this person's heart? As simple as that step may seem, it's easy, but as long as the speculation fails, it will be the price to pay. Hurry up. The drops are getting faster and faster. If the clothes are soaked, we can accompany them to fight. The prince silently took a step back. Retreat behind Zhang Kai. I have fulfilled the test perfectly. The duty of cannon fodder is out of his reach now. Prince Zhao Kai's eyes were gloomy and terrifying. The golden bottle was obviously the container of the sealed ghost. This ghost has been suppressed. Open for a few minutes. 9 minutes? How long can you suppress a ghost? 5 minutes is my limit. A bitter smile appeared on the corners of his mouth. Fortunately, the phantom just stood there faintly. No action starts suppression after 4 minutes. Now here's the thing to think about. How do we survive these 4 minutes? Take off their coats. Stupid to do such a thing is tantamount to looking for Ka. Just reach out nose if any droplets happen to fall. And the clothes on the floor are all wet with water droplets. Prince estimates the Ka on the head can support up to 2 more minutes. Will be completely wet. That means death is coming. Open up and you stand with me with a coat. After my coat reaches its limit. Use yours again. The entire 4th floor was eerily quiet. Only the sound of water droplets keeps ringing. The sound of water droplets is getting louder and louder. It's getting denser. It is even equivalent to a light rain. This means that more people are taking off their coats. About 2 minutes later, 3:21 starts. The sound of water dripping disappeared in an instant. The prince raised his coat cautiously, didn't let go easily. Fortunately, everything is business as usual. Now, I can only hope that your teammates will not be late. As for reincarcerating ghosts in containers, this is not something that an ordinary person can do. And all opening can do is shock and awe, rather than a seal. As time goes by, the face that opened became paler and paler. By 4 minutes, even blood runs down the open eye socket. The open shock and awe is almost at its limit. Open. Are you alright? Prince quietly retreated at this moment. He didn't want to be involved in the follow-up finishing work. After all, in the end, he's just an ordinary guy. Okay, on the way home. Wang Ye frowned slightly. In my previous life, Shangjing City was at this time. There doesn't seem to be any weird problems. Was it because I had too little information in my previous life? Or change with yourself in this life. The future has changed accordingly. Open the door. The prince stood still, pupil constriction. In the living room of the prince's new house, a door half empty and half solid. I don't know when it was established in the living room. Strange event. But then a sharp wave came. Address monument no. 3 in suburban cemetery. Set the envelope on fire in front of the tombstone. Reward ghost rope removal. Term of 3 days. Prince felt incredible. Ghosts are incommunicable. This is the iron law summed up by countless people in the past life. But this letter, apparently this weird post office gave it to itself. Message conveyed. After a long time, there was a ray of light in the prince's eyes. What's the matter? Is it more incredible than being reborn? It's better to fight. After all, he is the one who has answered once. Could it be worse? Although ghosts cannot be beaten. But if at the right moment, this dagger may be able to be used at a critical moment, play a certain role. This is after the rebirth of the prince. While gold can still be bought with money. One of the few little tricks you do for yourself. Late night suburban cemetery, number 38, tomb 37 is abominable. And the order is reversed. I don't know why. The whole cemetery gave him a very uncomfortable feeling. There was a trace of torn in the eyes of the prince. But soon, painting rushed decisively and quickly to the depths of the cemetery. The prince gradually touched the depths of the cemetery. But his expression became more and more serious. Ash goes deeper. The tombstones are getting worn out. Some tombstones have even split, including tomb 2. The whole tombstone has broken off in the middle. Only a little bit of the bottom is left intact. Wait, tomb 2. The so-called tomb number 3 has disappeared. Or did it never exist? Cold breath spread throughout his body. It made him more and more uneasy. No fear. This psychology. I don't know how long. It doesn't show up in my emotions anymore. Because if you want to live, can't be afraid. The fastest is always the group of shivering. The prince recalls the scene when he first entered the cemetery. It looks like the front tombstone is imitation. The deeper the new tomb, the worse the damage. There is a low pit in the ruins of the new tomb. No. 1. It seems that something is drilled through it. It's out. Did something escape from tomb 1? Are the things from tomb number 2 going to run out too? No. The mysterious post office seems to have chosen its own. That is to say, the post office is likely to make an assessment of itself. If you target ordinary people, we'll give a task where a ghost will appear. That's an exaggeration. Unless the original purpose of the post office. Just let me catch number 4, number 2, no, 1 no. Why would I think that? That broken ruin is number 1. Sure enough, this is tomb number 2. That being the case, is the one next to you afraid of being recognized by me? Or I just know, this tombstone says tomb no 3. A crack in the writing took away half the number. It looks like class 2 and class 1. Sure enough, this is a task that even an ordinary person can complete. But what about tomb 1? This cemetery is so dangerous. The old man has lived safely until now. Also a kind of luck. No, the stuff from tomb 2 before. But it's already out. How can this old man be safe and sound? Hesworth, they'd invent the best superpowers in his previous life when the person looks at them. It didn't put so much pressure on him. On the door of the wooden house is shrouded in darkness. It seems that there is a line like a child, portrait like numbers. After the prince successfully delivered the letter to the location and burned it, Portal reappeared in the living room. Enter again. Since the prince has enough time this time, he took a close look at this surrounding. The letter the princess sent earlier, only a faint red blood stain, and most of the letters in the cabinet are almost half red. The most striking, the top of the cabinet, 3 letters that have been completely stained with blood. The deeper the red blood, the harder it is. This simple letter today, I almost fell in it. Even met a terrifying old man. The top 3 letters. What kind of horror does it represent? And not far from the stairs, represents the post office on the 2nd floor. Just one glance, the prince's soul feels standing. He knew that wasn't what he could qualify for. Where to search? Is this my reward? Ghost rope can bind ghosts. The next letter will be collected in 7 days. I am similar to a courier, or the mail carrier. This letter today, at least for now it seems to have suppressed the crisis in tomb 3. What is the purpose of this post office? Is it just to maintain peace? Forget it. At least for now, there is no harm. Though the post office's introduction to this hemp rope is very simple, but you can do it without gold. This is perverted in a bizarre event. You must know that in the past life, the entire A-level team of the prince in hand, there is only one missing strange item. Although the mission is dangerous, the rewards are equally generous. Prince thinks, this is very suitable for myself with a serious gambler mentality. Perhaps superpowers that could not be awakened in a previous life. This is a lifetime opportunity. In a previous life, he also had the nickname Crazy Gambler. Under the powerful biological clock in the morning, Prince opened his eyes. I can't go to school. I didn't expect these guys to move so fast. After resolving the school incident, Prince knew they would come to the door. You are the prince. It's me. Come in and sit. You don't wonder who I am. You'd say no if I didn't ask, right? Well, Sun Chan admits, in this brief encounter, I lost completely. My name is Sun Chan, from Tianzu. What is Tianzu? He is currently just an ordinary student. The calmness in the face of strange events before. You can also say that he is calm in case of trouble. It's a talent. But if you know Tianzu like the back of your hand, this is not something the prince can do at the moment. Unless the fact of his rebirth is exposed, Tianzu is very suspicious. Any uncertainties will be strictly controlled. After the enthusiasm, terror revives. The official mysterious Tianzu is responsible for handling strange events, also responsible for monitoring power users, prevent them from suddenly awakening. The ability to do something out of the ordinary. But I'm just an ordinary person. Although you are just an ordinary person. But through the water drop incident, this is us, files for the bizarre events we experienced yesterday. The name of the case, we found a very calm encounter, and very knowledgeable about strange events. Now all kinds of weird problems are breaking out everywhere. We can take the police car. In other words, we need people. Do you want to send me an ordinary person to solve the strange event? Or rather, I can think you're murdering us. There are also many rear occupations. It doesn't have to be up front, and every time you cooperate to complete the task, we'll get corresponding points, and points symbolize greater strength or endless wealth rights. I believe you should be able to access my file. I'm not short of money, and the rules of the karma people are all kinds of strange stuff in there. It can't be said to be safe. Even because of a superhuman recording from the front, I could die for no reason. I believe that, even if I promise you now, you will also test me, so it doesn't make any sense. Now, isn't that right? Sun Chan fell silent. Originally he felt, it's a simple task. State your background. Express again the idea that Tianzu wants to win him over. This young man will have a face, excited to follow myself. But what Sun Chan didn't expect was, since I entered the door, all the rhythms are controlled by the prince. I can only deal with it passively. And you're right, I believe for people like you, no matter what I say, won't change your inner decision. You'll come with me? Of course, I'm really convinced by this old sick son. Qian was already ready to give up. I didn't expect the prince to agree. For someone like the prince, wealth no longer interested him, but there is only one thing that the prince cannot do. That's intelligence. In 7 days he will send his second letter. Without a strong source of intelligence, it is likely to suffer more losses. I only have one condition. Give me advanced intelligence clearance. You agree, I will go to the assessment with you. To prove their worth. Sun Chan took a deep look at the prince. In just 10 minutes. This young man. It shocked him again and again. I'll report it. The above agreed to your request. The difficulty of the corresponding assessment level has been upgraded to B level. I hope you think about it. B level exams are all prepared for artists. Your chances of passing are slim. To acquire resources, you must prove your worth. That makes sense. Let's go. Pretty soon. They came to the headquarters of the celestial race for an assessment. Seeing Sun Qian proudly introduce the headquarters, Prince was speechless. About 3 years later, a Class A incident broke out at the celestial headquarters, because the building is very tall. As a result, people above had no time to escape. Since then, Tianzu has learned his lesson. It has been changed to a side-by-side bungalow area. Are you the prince? I have been notified by the minister. This will take you to the assessment. Please come with me. Good luck. I'm not responsible for what happens next. Soon the elevator came to a stop. The assessment content finds the source on the 13th floor and seal him to finish. The girl left at a breakneck speed. Is the B-level assessment mission an independent seal? It's a bit difficult. The current level of metahumans, most psychics, can't be held independently, and this Tianzu's courage seems to be a little too big. How dare you release a monster at the headquarters? Unconsciously, the light appears to be affected by the magnetic field, flickering. Is this the beginning? A hemp rope down the cuff of his left hand. He held it in his hand, between the fingers of the right hand. I don't know when. A gold needle made entirely of gold appears. After sufficient preparation, Prince did not take action. Instead, stand where you are. It seems to be silently waiting for something. For figuring out the preferences of the monster's experts. Any superfluous actions could lose their lives. This young man is still calm, but he was just an ordinary guy. Do you really think he can hold monsters alone? Even if it's a transformed monster? Hushi. Why force him to seal the monster? After all, this is just an assessment, not a task. Right? Is it hidden after 3 minutes? Or did I not intrigue him? It seems that waiting for the rabbit is unrealistic. Prince walked forward slowly. But no matter how you go, Prince are firmly located in the open central area. As for leaning against the wall or something, is that equivalent to looking for karma? But that makes sense. If it is a very aggressive monster, then this assessment task is no less than harming lives. Oh, stupid, ordinary people. From his perspective, the prince wanders around like a fool. Look carefully. He seems to have found something wrong. It's only been 10 minutes. I remember you doing this test at that time. During the task, it took about 30 minutes to notice the abnormality, right? Humph. There's not much cover on the whole floor. There are very few places for monsters to hide. Where is he? There you are. If the monster's not behind him, Prince, I can't imagine where else he could exist. Of course, it cannot be ruled out that monsters can be invisible. But he believes Tianzu wouldn't come up with such a difficult test. A monster that could be easily suppressed by a single golden needle? It's really weak. This assessment, the most fundamental difficulty lies in finding the monster, but it's a little easier to do so. After all, as long as you pay attention, sooner or later you will find this guy. So the real test? It's the time it took to find this monster. Congratulations on the end of your assessment. Please go to the 21st floor. 18 minutes is 18 minutes. It's just a grade. But don't you forget, he's just an ordinary guy. Alright, I'm gonna meet this funny guy. Introduce yourself to Zhang Zilian, Minister of Logistics Department. The requirements of my lord's premise. Unchan told you everything, right? This is no problem. After all, talent is welcome everywhere. Let me introduce you briefly. The work of the Logistics Department. Our entire logistics department can be said to be fully dedicated to the metahumans of Tianzu. For example, before handling the event, check the information in advance and provide it to them. Increase their chances of survival. Or metahumans face threats from King Da every day. Very stressed. They need us to guide them. The prince nodded. He knows all about logistics. After all, in a previous life, he also has his own personal operator. If there is no problem, this is the metahuman you need to be responsible for. Your internship work is responsible for solving all the needs of this metahuman. It will open the information slightly frown. Looks like a problem, girl. That's right. This USB stick will be automatically installed on the computer for you. Open a website. There will be a lot of information in it that cannot be found by the outside world. It's all B-level secrets. No disclosure allowed. Prince's eyes lit up. I worked hard for a day. This is what surrounds it. For more information, only then can I be on the way to the next delivery. Survive as much as possible. I will notify you in advance if there is a task. The rest of the time you are free. However, the phone must be turned on within 24 hours. Avoid failing to contact you. Can I ask a digression? The prince stopped. Didn't turn around. His eyes narrowed slightly. Do you ask, what does that hemp rope do? Is there anything else for the decorations? Don Zilian looked deeply at the back of the prince. Took a long time for him to smile again, as if nothing had happened before. Have a nice day at work. Thanks. That hemp rope has